acoustichealth.com, your portal to the inner realms. Our program starts shortly. Welcome to another Quantum Conversation, brought to you by acoustichealth.com. I'm Laurie Reyon, and I invite you to sit back as we enter the quantum realm. That's the space of the greater part of you. It is your connection to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and infinite mastery. And welcome, everyone. One of our levels of mastery is our ability to communicate with interspecies, with our higher self, with the trees, with the animals. And my guest today is an internationally known interspecies communicator and a soul healer. Laurie Reyon is here with Master Cat Puda, and she is sharing wisdom that we can use to advance our information, our own healing, our own communication with the great whales and the dolphins in particularly. Let's welcome Laurie Reyon to Quantum Conversations. Laurie, thank you so much for being here. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Lauren. Delighted to be here and overjoyed to be having this opportunity to share with your audience. Thank you so much for inviting us.
We are so pleased to be here with you. You're doing some amazing work with the dolphins and whales who actually came to you with a healing for the coronavirus situation. And we're going to talk about that. You've actually got a beautiful workshop for people to experience that. Let's talk about your story. You and I first met actually as we were swimming with the dolphins and whales on the Big Island in Hawaii. And that was beautiful. You started long before then. Can you share with us your personal story, how you came to communicate the whales and the dolphins and all beings? Your partner, Master Cat Puda, is actually someone that you work closely with in sacred partnership.
That's correct, yeah. Well, I think as a child, I was born, what one might say, telepathic with animals. And I think the confusion came when I realized some years later that other people aren't necessarily telepathic with animals. I was raised in rural Nebraska, and I was very much in love with horses during those years, just loved the horses, and, had a special ability. It was early on. People could see that I could go up to a horse, particularly a horse that wasn't people-friendly yet, and just put a piece of twine or a rope around their neck and, just have a communication with them. And the first thing I would ask them is if they wanted someone to ride them, or they were ready to go riding, or they wanted to be a rodeo horse, or maybe they wanted to be, working on a ranch with cattle. And I just would talk to them like you're talking to me now and ask about them. And so animals, as you know, love that. They love to be considered, and they certainly love to be spoken to. So years later, as I grew up, I ended up traveling with my horse with the Buffalo Bills Wild West Show and Congress of Rough Riders, which came to North Platte, Nebraska, which is the home of
really?
Yeah. I was about, 13 years old when they built this big arena off Interstate 80 in North Platte, Nebraska. They ended up hiring a lot of local, teenagers, cowboys, cowgirls, to be in the Congress of Rough Riders. And I also was hired as a dancer. I was working with the local dance teacher, and we had a can-can line, which was traditional of, reenacting times, from Nebraska, earlier years. And so I was hired with my mom's permission to stay in town that summer and work as a dancer. And I soon brought my horse into the show because they wanted more horses to ride in the Congress of Rough Riders. And after that, it wasn't that long before they realized that I was just glued to the trick riders that they'd brought from California, and that I had a natural ability in those years because I'd been studying what, was considered acrobatics. Now they call it gymnastics. Also, my horse had a very special personality, very much like my cat Puda now. My horse would do anything. I mean, literally anything you asked the horse to do. had no fear of guns or fireworks or loud noises. And so Taffy at the time was very popular among the other riders. You know, they wanted to use my horse and everything. So I was elated. I thought it was great. And by the second year, I was trained by the Hollywood trick riders to do some what would be perceived to be dangerous things, but you know, I was really good at them. So I started making good money. And later, when the show went on the road, they very much wanted me and my horse to go. So I got a chance to do that and to travel with them. We ended up in Los Angeles. And long story short is Barnum and Bailey sued the company for the rights to the name. And the show was stopped, and, you know, we almost went bankrupt, but they won. They won the name, but here we were stranded with no money. And I realized that I really wanted to live in California. I had always told my parents I wanted to live near the ocean.
Yeah. And
so by my junior year, I was able to move to Burbank, California, and I stayed temporarily with the man who was played Buffalo Bill. We'd become really good friends, and he was like a surrogate father for me and got me enrolled in school. And so I had really good grades, so it was easy for me to transfer. And I never actually was a senior. I had enough credits to skip that last year here in California and had a chance to go to college early, and I studied veterinary medicine in those years. I thought that was what would make me happy, and unfortunately it didn't. I mean, the work I'm doing now wasn't on the agenda. You know, there wasn't talk of being an animal communicator or telepathic or energy healing. None of that was in the book, you know. So I went 5 years to vet school, and I ended up becoming an animal health technician as opposed to transferring to Davis, becoming a full-blown vet. But I'm happy I did it and what I learned, but, you know, I learned that Western medicine is not my forte. I'm not, you know, my body doesn't even like to be in the presence of surgery or needles or vaccines or any of that. And of course, I was moving more and more towards understanding energy medicine, but I didn't have a teacher at that time. So I went back to dance, and I ended up being a choreographer and a dancer and having a big performing arts center over the next like 14 years in Sylmar, California, which is northeast corner of LA, and being very successful. And then, and you know, again, I'm still telepathic. But I'm using it only on my own animals. I have about 5 cats and a dog and 2 horses. You know, I'm using it that way. But later, 94, I had a near-death experience through what would be perceived to be a car accident. I don't believe the word accident. I believe we all design everything. But through that, that world was stopped very quickly, and So
let's talk about that. The accident. Can you share what happened? Did you see any miraculous things that went on in that experience?
Well, my near-death experience was about 6 minutes, and it was in the hospital. I had made it to the hospital, but I was bleeding to death, so I collapsed there, and then, you know, I went out. And so my description of it would be going through a tunnel like 1 trillion miles an hour, very fast. And it was very enlightening. It wasn't frightening in any way. And following this light. And when I got to the light appeared to me as 3 beings. That was my horse, who I just described. That had passed over. My grandmother, who I'd loved very much, and Jesus. And so those 3 beings were there to meet me. And I had an extensive, I guess you'd say, experience. I had a life review. I had a tour. I remember visiting other galaxies, star systems. And then I remember standing and looking like out over a ledge, I guess you'd say, and seeing Earth from a distance and hearing kind of the story of how Earth was originally created. And I remember seeing lights coming off the planet. And I asked the guides that were with me, what are those lights? And they said, those are prayers coming from Earth. So, I mean, I remember lots of things. And I remember my interaction with Jesus. I was raised a Christian, so not a long stretch to see that that's the being that would greet me, you know.
Right.
And we sat for a while and talked, and he explained that it was the experience that I was having was by my own hand. It wasn't in the original plan. And that he was encouraging me to go back, but that no one can make you do anything. It's all free will, you know. And I said, no, I don't want to go back. I'm definitely not going back, you know. And so this was a long, kind of drawn out conversation. I remember being able to make my body appear as a child and like throw myself on the floor and be kicking and screaming and going, I'm not going back. And I remember Jesus saying, you don't have to go back. You don't need to throw a tantrum. I'm not going to make you go back. Things like that. I remember that. And I remember then sitting with him, you know, like same age as him, like making myself look like him, you know, and we're having a intelligent conversation now, and he's saying, well, maybe before you make your final decision, you want to take a look at your future. And then they showed me that my mom would never have recovered if I didn't come back. And they showed me, because it was out of order of our original plan.
Yeah.
And they showed me the cat Pootie, who was with me, in the back seat of the car at the hospital.
Really?
Yeah. This was after the Northridge earthquake. And, Pootie was the first Buddha, but I didn't know that at the time. And he showed me that light, and the light was blinding from the cat. And he said, that should give you an idea of how important you are. This kind of being would not come and sit with you in your car or come and help you with your health issues if you were not a very important being to us here on, in heaven. And he said, so this being that you call Pootie will never fulfill his purpose. He will die, and no one will even know where he's at. So, boy, that really wrenched my heart. So, in my heart and Pootie, I decided to come back. And I ended up being in a little house in Rosarito that we rented. Rosarito, Baja, Mexico is south of San Diego. LA is my favorite vacation spot. I had no idea I'd get to live there. I always thought I might retire there, but here I am in my 30s now, and I'm getting to spend time in this beautiful little beach house. So I felt very blessed, but also very confused. And I still had major health issues from losing 60% of my blood. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So the returning to the normal thing, which was running a big performing arts center, it wasn't that simple. Things weren't that simple. It took the next 3.5 years for me really to decide what I was doing without really even knowing if that makes any sense. Coming from someone who before was very guided and confident, hadn't really had any negative things happen except a divorce. So I realized that it was a turning point, and the dolphins started coming to my house. As you know, they come like the bottlenose dolphins will come right up to the shore, and 3 came particularly. So I started to go. Every day to my house, we had a little deck. It was up above the water. And Pootie would go out and sit on the deck, and he would make dolphin sounds, and they would try to make cat sounds. And they were just communicating but having fun. And he would say to me, they want to talk to you. And I said, well, I don't understand how that would ever happen. He said, well, you talk to me, you talk to horses, why not dolphins? So I went to dolphin school, I guess you'd say. And I started playing with it. And one dolphin in particular really bonded with me. To this day, I call him Simon, when I think of him. And when I got in my car and I drove north on the toll road, which is right by the beach, he would be there swimming, like leaping in the water as far as he could go next to him. He'd be there when I got home, like at my house. It was very cool. Very loving relationship. And I just felt so special when I was with him, Really encouraged me to start to bring forth the dolphin memories and the communication, which are so uplifting. And to this day, I started, to this day I give people dolphin messages, but then it was just friends. And my friends would say, how can they possibly know all of these things about us? And I said, I don't know, but they do. They do know everything. They can look at you and scan you. I know that now, but at the time I didn't understand it. I just thought they must be like very, very wise beings. And of course, you and I now know they are. There's some 30 million years of experience there. And they're just pure joy, emissaries of love and joy and light. And one of their greatest purposes is to assist humanity in awakening to our true self, and who we are. So that's been with me for a number of years now. And one of the things that's easy to do to help people is to call in what I call an etheric dolphin or a spirit dolphin. They're all around us all the time. There are many of them. They tell me there's enough dolphins in the etheric for everyone to have 3 with them all the time. And if you were here at my house, I always take people out to my swimming pool, and if it's a sunny day, you can see them swimming in the pool. Their etheric bodies are beautiful in the water. Water is a medium that can show spirit, and the water ripples and bubbles, and if you get in the pool with them, they swim around your ankles, and it's very fun. People think it's kind of crazy, but I say try it. You'll like it. Anybody can do it. Anybody can call dolphins into your bathtub or your jacuzzi or your swimming pool. You just have to know, So after I started with them in Mexico, they started coming into the water all the time with me. So that was fun.
I can hear so many people saying, give us the process for calling in dolphins to our hot tub, to our swimming pool, to the water that we're in. I've been on the Lake Washita in Hot Springs, Arkansas, and my friend Casey over there is like, feel the dolphins. And Althea, feel the dolphins. You can see the dolphins. And they're talking about what you're talking about. How do you begin to see? First, let's talk about how you would call them in. I know you would just send that out through your heart, but then how do you begin to recognize? Share with us a little bit about that.
Okay. Well, I'll share with you what they've taught me to make it easier.
Yeah.
And one of the first teachings they wanted to give me, and they still do, is that the human body in its natural state of being on this planet right now is out of balance, that we don't necessarily know how to connect to the earth, which is our mother, right? And we don't necessarily know how to connect to God, which would be, I guess you could say, your father. I call it source light. But it takes two parents to create anybody. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if we connect to the earth, and let's just do that. Let's just drop our light down, like you're dropping an anchor, or you're seeing roots grow out of the bottom of your feet down into the earth. And Mother Earth, Gaia, is a sentient being. And not only is she sentient, she is your mother in the sense of your physical form. She knows all about you, just like the dolphins do. She knows where you are all the time. She knows if you're happy or you're sad. And like any true, real mother, she would like to uplift you. She'd like to hug you. She'd like to commune with you. So take that moment now and really connect to Mother Earth and tell her that you love her and thank her for being your mother. After all, it was just Mother's Day.
Yeah.
She is your mother. And what happens, the light of Gaia comes up through your feet. It's called prana. It comes up your legs. And when it gets all the way up to the solar plexus, it normally will stop and start to build there. But for telepathic communication, we want to bring it higher. So let's bring it up to the heart. And we usually then ask Mother Gaia to form a ball of light, to just keep pumping that prana into our bodies and forming a ball of light. And while that's happening, then you take light from your heart and you open your crown chakra, which is quite naturally easy to do once you're grounded. And you send light up towards the sun, which is the portal to the great central sun and onward to source light. And that light will come back to you. Directly to you. You can do this inside. You don't have to be outside. You come directly through your crown chakra and down into your heart. So the dolphins would ask you now to form another ball of light on the other side of your heart that corresponds to Father God, to the angelics, to the origin of your species, who you are. And now you have male energy coming in, which is wisdom and information. And you have Mother Earth's light coming in, which is compassion and healing. And you ask that those two balls of light be balanced. And the third thing now you take your consciousness out of your brain, out of your mind, and you drop it into your heart, into the actual physical chamber of your heart. And that process is called triangulation, when you have connection to the earth, connection to source, and connection to your soul, which you can only really make through your heart. I'm sure you know that. The only really way to connect to the immortal, eternal part of you, which we call the soul, some people call it the I am presence, is through the heart. And when you're there, that triangulation naturally occurs. And then the prana that's being formed through the triangulation can now come up from the heart all the way up to the third eye. And the third eye, or the pineal gland, is the same thing. It's a biological crystalline organ that has neurotransmitters, and it's located between the two halves of your brain. It's a very small organ, but perhaps one of the most, if not the most powerful organ you have. And you energize it, you massage it with light. You, first of all, recognize it. I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, nobody taught me about my third eye. I was naturally telepathic, like I said, so mine was pretty open, I think. But what if I wasn't? I don't think that, I would have been able to talk to the horses so easily, or to my dog or cat. So what I want to say is everyone has this organ, and it's never too late to start right now to activate it through love and light. Okay? So from this place of the heart now being balanced, I'm going to call that the unity balance that we just did, and bringing this energized light up to the third eye. The third eye then can rotate. It can go around to the right, to the left, rotate forward, just like an eyeball. It has color receptors. And No, it's very small. It's so powerful. So through your intention now, I would ask to connect to the dolphin community and specifically ask for 3 dolphins to come to you. We'll call them spirit dolphins. And they're there, and just here they come. What normally happens is you start to feel movement around you. Some of you will see them. Some of you will feel them. Some of them, we all have different levels of what we call the gifts, which is clairaudience, clairvoyance, clairsentience, claircognizance. Most of the people that I meet and work with first have clairsentience, which is really clear feeling. And unfortunately, that was my last gift to activate because I had the clairvoyance already on. That was clear seeing. And then later I worked to open up my clairaudience, which is now how I make a living. So my sentience is still there, but it still comes last. And I have to trust that feeling state. That's what I'm asking you to do now, is to trust that feeling state, feel their beautiful shining faces coming in around you. And they may not look like ocean dolphins. They might look, often they're colored, like soft pinks or pastels or turquoise. But you may hear dolphin sounds, and you may hear audible, sounds coming to you in more English, because they speak all of the languages. And you may want to ask them a question now, like how can we connect, or maybe you want to ask them a question about your life. But you're going to feel, if you already aren't, an infusion of such great joy, of such great acceptance and love of beingness. Just, the love that we have when we first come here, and that sometimes we forget how important that is. But the energy of joy is the rocket fuel, really, to connect to them and for them to speak to you. Okay, so now they're saying it would be a good moment to teach people about that word 0 point. We hear it all the time now, but 0 point from their perspective is the underlying energetic of absolute interconnected stillness. And from this place where we are, with the balance of the male and the female energy connecting to the earth and to the sun, and to our own heart space, we can come to know that there are no limits to the clarity of the creative energy we carry. Our emotional body, the feeling state, is the creative force. And when we come into this place, the mind will stop offering you a false reality. And all that is, which is illusionary, will fall away. Dolphins are very much a part of the real world. They've traveled a great distance to be here and to be a part of our world and to be a part of assisting humanity. And they offer us this boundless state of possibilities. And you might also experience a rapid kind of evolutionary feeling. They accelerate everything. And they do it with grace. So as we continue to merge with them and talk to them, take note of how your thought forms and your feeling state is shifting. That's becoming softer. Dolphins also would tell you that they are the epigeneticists of the world. That world, thank God, is becoming a part of our world now, where we understand that when we were first born, we were taught, at least my generation was, that we are bound to our parents' challenges through the DNA. If your parents had heart disease or diabetes or chronic arthritis or anything like that, that we probably would inherit that. And that we were taught that life is difficult and that it's a challenge to find this place we're speaking of now with the dolphins. And the dolphins have proven now that that's not true, that it's only the environment, the food we eat, the choices that we make that would keep us bound to any type of health challenge, because when we set our intentions from a place of purity like we are now, we're accessing the crystalline DNA, which is the true DNA of our light body. We actually have 12 strands of DNA. And the dolphins can come in and literally adjust your DNA, and also they can turn on dormant DNA that isn't functioning right now. They have amazing capacity to clear emotional trauma and to bring us great joy and infusions of light that will activate the dormant DNA, where you can access your mastery in ways that you never thought possible. You'll find yourself doing things that before you had fear over, and You'll find that it's quite easy to do them now because you've done them before in other lives, and all of that mastery was just stored in your DNA, awaiting to be awakened.
Wow.
How does that feel?
It feels really good. It feels really light. I hope everyone is enjoying this and feeling the love. And I don't know who else has animals, but I'd like to hear if anybody has animals who just made their way to your desk or your lap or your chair. My cat has been on top of my desk. So this is beautiful. The dolphins actually activating our dormant DNA. So we know when we have, for those who've had the beautiful opportunity to swim with wild dolphins, that experience is the trust that we wish to share with everyone on this call who may not have had the experience to swim with the dolphins. When we've been in the water, there was a time on that trip with you, Laurie, there were so many of us that we were not on the same boat, but we were in the same group. And yes. I was depressed. I got on the boat in the morning and there was waves of sadness that came up. It was as if the dolphins were working on us before we were even in the water. So that when we got in the water, the sounds and the squeaks, there were some high-pitched clicks. They were just, it was really fascinating. And that is what happened on a physical reality level in that 3D situation. But what you just took us through is the exact same thing. And again, this trusting the feeling that we're getting. It is real. It is not make-believe. And you have helped us bridge that awareness, build that awareness with the beautiful dolphins. And that is really very special and very precious. And they can actually assist all of us. I know there's a question coming in, and I hope that that was answered with our dolphins. A question coming in is asking the beloveds what we need to do to understand about this time on Earth and our roles in New Earth. And as we get clear on the information coming in by working with the dolphins in this way, we'll also be able to have the dolphins help us clear out some of the self-sabotage that we bring upon ourselves for stepping forward and keeping ourselves back, holding ourselves back, waiting until we think something should be in perfection or until it looks perfectly right. So this is magical, that there are no limits to the clarity of the creative force. And we do it with that connection to the earth, to the sun, and to the dolphins. Thank you so much for that.
To turn on the healing genes and let go of the pain and hardship that has guided you, that has taken so much of your energy. And I don't speak to anybody individually. I speak to us as a collective. Yeah. All of us experience pain and hardship. But the truth is, the real truth is we're all multidimensional beings, and we have the capacity to rise above polarity, or that what you might call duality, where there is a judgment, or there is a right and a wrong, if you will, left and a right, a top and a bottom, all of which is illusionary. In the realm that the dolphins live in, which is fifth dimensional or higher realm, that they bring that here to this world. And they hold that space, and they absolutely won't come down. They won't lower their vibration. I'm sure you know what I mean. And that's how they're able to guide you into making choices to where you can take the the rocks out of your backpack, as they're saying, and the power of forgiveness. Because when you can say goodbye to dis-ease, to aches and pains, you're turning on the healing genes that have been off. And you're doing that with their help, even if you don't know that. They don't need you to know that. But people who work in the collective or personally with dolphins will experience a very accelerated evolution, So they'll help you restore your health and re-energize your body, speed up your metabolism, and guide you on what's appropriate for you to eat, and, hours for you to sleep that are unique to your star lineage, I guess I would say, your real beingness. And they'll activate for all of us what we call youthing, the youthfulness at the cellular level, to be truly loving. You're looking at a being that is completely transparent, living within a pod mind where everybody in their pod knows everything all the time about them. There's nothing hidden. There's no lying or lack of integrity going on. And if any one dolphin in the pod needs something, they all know immediately. And they all would come to help that. Like particularly when, let's say, a dolphin is birthing, the other dolphins create a circle of protection and love around that mother until she births. She's assisted. So here's a quote from the dolphins. They gave me a very powerful message many times, but one was in 2008 when I started to work with them. And they said they are the keepers of the human DNA template system. They receive infusions of DNA activation through the Earth's ocean systems from Creator. It is their process and their given task to use this information internally and calibrate the actual DNA that is perfect and right for each person once that person gives permission. So they also hold the energy of love and joy for actual locations on the planet that are experiencing war and chaos. They tell us they are the masters of DNA recalibration and are able to shift old energies very quickly with their healing frequencies. They work in a frequency of joy and playfulness that is exactly suited to the energy of ascension and the new earth. So they say, listen to your hearts and connect with us through the etheric, or come see us in the physical, or just call our names and we will be there. They also work with the crystalline grid system, so they're able to use their telepathic abilities to connect with you from wherever they are. And they literally can be with you, as you just experienced, in a minute or less. So that dolphin matrix of energy is assisting with cleansing and balancing the Earth's ocean system, too, because we really have, a lot of work to do with cleaning the water, and they're helping us with that. We're looking at beings that have, again, when we look at dolphins that are toothed whales, some 30 million years of experience here. And when we look at the whales, the baleen whales, we're looking at beings that really are our elders. They've been here some 300 million years, holding the space and stewarding the planet long before humans were here. So you really can't go wrong. When I talk to Puda, she always says, oh, Dr. Dolphin's here. If you want some help, you might try accessing the dolphin and the whale energy, which is really what guided us to form. See, I've been doing this, 19 years now, our school, which is Dolphin and Whale Energy Medicine. There isn't anything they can't do or help you with if you're willing to open your belief system to it.
Yes, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. Let's open our belief systems to it. Absolutely. And the joy and the playfulness and the energies of New Earth. How perfect. So you actually have workshops and recordings and ways that people can work with you. You're actually helping people expand their spiritual consciousness and claim their clairvoyance, their clairaudience. We're going to talk about that. But there's something that happened recently with this current pandemic. Let's talk about the coronavirus. And they've actually given you a new healing system for the coronavirus. What is the purpose? I know that light workers, light bringers are all here saying this is the great shift, yet many still go, we all do. I don't think any of us are immune in the tremendous amount of clearing that we're doing from the collective. Do the dolphins and whales give you a message on this situation and really their bigger picture look at it?
Yes. Yeah, I'm trying to remember now. I think it was mid-March when I think we all were affected, whether we wanted to be or not, with the stay-at-home orders and shelter at home and social distancing. And I live in a pretty peak bubble most of the time, I guess you'd say, and I don't experience a lot of negativity, even though I'm experiencing it through my clients that I'm helping. I don't personally experience it anymore because I believe it's because of the work I do with the animal kingdom, who are the greater body of healers and teachers. But with the whales, there's just this unlimited potential. And over the years, they've given me many messages. They've come to me through visitations and through prophecy. One of them was that the white whales would return to the planet starting March 3rd, 2012. And I go into that, of course, in the session. But the fact that they're here, and I'm knowing that they have the ability to do just about anything, is I came to this place where I said to myself, there must be a way to remove a virus from the planet. I didn't think of it as being that bad at the time. And I said, we should just get a lot of powerful healers together and work with Source, and move it off the planet. Immediately, my guides came in and said, no, You can't do that. This is a man-made karmic expression now, and it'll have to play itself out. You're certainly protected if you choose to be, your immune system is a direct reflection of your belief system. I don't think you have anything to worry about. But the people that are going to suffer from this are going to suffer because of what man has done, not because of what the earth has done. Viruses and bacteria normally are connected to Gaia. This one is not. It's different. And I went, oh, that's sad, So the next day, I'm working with a client, and we're doing a whale healing, and then we were finished, and I just sat there. The whale energy was present, and I asked them, I said, is there anything you can do? And they said, maybe. And I said, I'd never heard them say maybe before. And what I heard Linda Carter, one of the white whales, say is, we'll contact you tomorrow. And again, this is not normal. They don't normally contact me individually. I don't normally contact them individually. Very seldom. They'll tap me on the shoulder. And when they do, they ask me if I have time to receive a message, like I should say. And other times they come for the healings and then they leave. We're not having party calls. We're not sitting around having coffee together. I can do that with the dolphins, but I can't with the whales. They're on a very high frequency. So the next day, Pendekata came back and he said, we have permission from Source to work with the coronavirus. So what this means is that the energy we would be accessing has never been on this planet before. It's considered a scalar wave. And it'll be an oscillating frequency that we'll bring through the sun. And we'll bring it directly to the human heart of the person that gives permission and is very focused on this. Does not wish to have their karma in this lifetime affected by this virus. Only one by one can we do it. And I said, but you can do it in a group. And they said, of course, we can do it with everybody on the planet if everyone gives permission. Same time. But we need you to become our voice again and to create the process. So 5 days I gave them a day and night, basically, and we created the process. First, the educational part of it with a beautiful PowerPoint so people completely understand what they're doing. It's not something that's outside of you understanding. Well, maybe the actual healing part is outside of our scientific understanding, but they do a very good job of describing what they're going to do. And then you give many levels of permission. And then they have you lie down and blindfold yourself to block out the light so your third eye will activate. And the healing process is about 45 minutes after the educational part comes. And that's the part that took me a long time to get it, because when you're channeling, you want the words to be absolutely perfect. So I worked with about 100 people, not quite 100 people the first time I did it, and accessed the people in our database. And I was amazed. I was a little bit afraid of how it would go because this is a big statement to say that they can disable the coronavirus and create an immunity shield of light using golden solar scalar waves from Source. So that you'll never, as long as you hold that vibration, as long as you hold your belief system there, you'll never have an issue or a problem with this virus. It'll never hurt you. So since that time, I've done it now with over 400 people, 5 times, closer to 500 people. And the testimonials just keep rolling in. I mean, they're just amazing of what people have experienced and how they've shifted and how their courage has changed, also the things they're seeing and feeling. We had a man who has the biofeedback machine, the Skio, take before and after oil pictures, and afterwards his blazing gold light around him. Another scientific person came and studied it, and she said after the healing, the immune radar, where the machine measures your immunity went up 20%. So it's good. It's really good. And again, it will affect people individually in different ways. But Lorraine and I have agreed to co-present a coronavirus healing with the white whales and immunity shield of light together.
Yes, we will be doing that. Thank you. I want to talk about that because really, how amazing that the scalar wave energy through the sun, through our hearts, for those who give permission, receive this. That's wonderful. So we're going to do a meditation here in our group so everyone can experience a little bit more of what Laurie's talking about. And if you'd like to join us in our workshop, I want to really sweeten the pot. I'd like to include some plant music, Laurie, with this. We've got Dolphin Joy Remedy from that trip that we were on, swimming with the dolphins and the whales. There was Casey, who was in our group, took a crystal and charged the crystal with the dolphin and whale energy from our trip, swimming with it on every dive, every time we jumped into the water. And she made an aromatherapy oil from that. And we were both shocked when this is the only aromatherapy oil that I've gotten to sing with the plant music. And the joy of the dolphins are coming through in this music. So we're going to give that as part of the course, the Mastery Empowerment course that we're going to do, just to make it a nice addition to what we're going on with the healing. And I'd also like to include some other music as a nice little bundle for people. So we've got the energy of the dolphins in this plant music from the aromatherapy oil, and then you've got the coronavirus healing session. So now would be a really good time to play this meditation, because you've taken this. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I just feel this is important. Almost everybody on the planet knows who Dr. Emoto is. He's a Japanese scientist that photographed the crystalline structure of water, proving that water is sentient, that water is alive, and water responds. And so, I think we all know we're 75% water, 80% water in our physical forms. Mm-hmm. So Dr. Todd Obokaites, who's also worked with the Cryon team and with me and Master Fuda, also worked with Dr. Emoto in Japan before he passed away, and he's extensively worked with the whales, as I have. And they brought the humpback whale sounds to the Tokyo tap water, which is the filthiest water in the world. It's so toxic and dark. And none of the other music that was played or affirmations that were said could clear the Tokyo tap water until they brought in the whale sounds. And when the humpback whale sang, the Tokyo water cleared. And not only did it clear, it started to form beautiful crystalline molecules that are rendition of the star tetrahedron, which is the life body, the Merkaba.
Yes.
So that proves scientifically that the whale sound is the most powerful healing sound in the world. I've always known that because they've told me that, but now we have scientific proof. So Fuda's gone on for years saying first thing in the morning, I don't hear any whale singing, put the whale music on. We do that in the morning just to keep our home clean. So
very cool.
If you allow the whales to sing through recorded, songs, your water in your body will change. It will actually restructure, and you will feel better, and you will be healed at some level. So when you hear the whale sounds in the meditation we're going to do, open yourselves and open your heart to their healing right now.
Beautiful. And so let's go ahead and play that.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the whale guided meditation, and it's about 10 minutes. And it's professionally produced. Laurie went into the studio. So enjoy, everyone. And we will take some questions with Laurie after. Here's the Great Whale meditation.
This is a whale guided meditation. We, the great whales of your beautiful blue oceans, invite you now to come with us on a journey into the cosmic heart. We are the ancient of the ancients, and we are the soul of the souls. We are your past, and we are your memories. We are a group consciousness joined together with you now in our hearts. We link with you now to create the future for healing and ascension of Mother Gaia. Let us go deep into the womb of our Mother Gaia and see that all that truly exists is deep and all-encompassing love. Let us feel this expanded and eternal love. This is love that is for each of us and for all of us. Let us feel the love that called us forth from Source to answer and lovingly come and experience creation and life here on beautiful Gaia. Let us enter the library of the Akashic Records together, where we can remember the truth of who we truly are. Each of us is a great and powerful spiritual being who is deeply connected to our Creator. We are extensions and representatives of the divine love of creation. Let us seek the truth of our origins, our choices, and our many, many lifetimes of love and service to this wondrous earth experience. We, the whales, were the first beings to incarnate upon planet Earth. We, the whales, are the molecular Akashic librarians of Earth's evolution. What we refer to as the Akashic Records lives in the oceans of planet Earth. The information is stored in the water molecules and contains the records of every journey, of every soul, over every lifetime. Because water is never destroyed, only recycled, Earth's entire history remains safe in our ocean archives. Let us enter the library of the Akashic Records together, where we can remember the truth of who we truly are. Each of us is a great and powerful spiritual being who is deeply connected to our Creator. Each of us is greatly honored and loved for making the decision to come to this beautiful blue planet. Each of us is loved for making the choice to consciously forget who we truly are when we were born in this lifetime. Each of us is now encouraged to connect with the whales as we make the conscious choice to remember who we truly are. Remembering who we really are is an important choice for each of us at this time in Earth's evolution. We, the whales, are here now to communicate with you and assist you in seeking the truth of your being. It is important to now reach for the knowledge that is held in the Akasha. Once there was a time to consciously forget who you truly are, in that you would participate and create from that place. But now, by divine design, it is time to remember. Source energy has asked us, the whales, to assist you, the humans, in remembering who you are. Now is the time to begin to create from a place of consciousness and to experience the truth of why you chose to be here today. In this quest for self-awareness, we can together identify ourselves as beings who value love above all else. We are coming to know ourselves as vibrations of love, and in doing so confirm our belief in peace. We are also remembering our world and our beautiful Mother Gaia in a new light. Let us choose to gather with like-minded people and begin to take back the conscious control of our environment. Let us remember the power of our thoughts and feelings, as we are powerful creators, and together we will co-create a new world in which to live. Let us join together and use the power of intentional evolution to remember, and together joined in love, let us now create in peace, harmony, and unity consciousness with every feeling, every desire, every thought, every word, and every action. The universe is one living, breathing, conscious being, and we are interconnected to our universe, to our planet, and to each other through the vibration of that which we call love. We, the whales, anchor the vibration of love that is beamed to Earth from distant sources. We now, in this meditation, join with you to anchor this love vibration together. We now align and synchronize our heartbeats with your heartbeat. Feel your heartbeat now and consciously join your rhythm with ours. Now imagine and sense your living light field merging with the light fields of we, the whales. Now imagine and sense us joining our pulse and rhythm with that of Gaia, our beautiful Mother Earth. Here we find harmony in our joined rhythms and living fields of color and sacred geometry. Here we find an all-encompassing feeling of peace, and we find our own personal sense of purpose. Now come with me as we journey back through the cosmic heart to the heart of our Creator. Let us visit our beloved Creator and remember the love that is the origin of our source. Let us claim the true dreaming state of the living heart of the cosmos. We awaken to our true creatorship and to the truth of our soul's journey. We now claim our heritage as children of Creator Source. We are holy. We are sacred. We are divinity embodied. We are love, and we are light. We are truly one heart and one love. And so it is.
Well, that was really cool. Oh,
Very beautiful.
very beautiful. Thank you for that journey. What a beautiful gift. A beautiful gift. I hope everyone takes a moment to jot down some notes, any information that you may have received, any feelings. How beautiful with those whales. Oh my goodness.
The truth is, we're all quantum cousins. You know, over 80 countries in this world now have created laws to protect the whales. Wow. Some not even ocean borders. There's a part of you that knows that these are your cousins, so to speak. They're galactic cousins. They have come before you, and they'll be a part of your way home. They have amazing abilities and immense trust from the eons of living, you know, with Source. They're responsible for the energy and the power that they carry. And thinking of Joan Ocean, Loren, when she said to me, do you experience bliss? And I'm like, yes. Is there any other being that you can think of that actually has a physical form that helps you create that energy of bliss? Because it's almost untouchable. It's very godlike, in that sense. And I don't mean to be religious, but I mean, the understanding of someone that has that kind of experience is going to carry the highest vibration that's almost inconceivable to someone that lives in duality. They've told me, even when people have asked me, how do they feel about the whaling years? When we used to, we had tuned them practically into non-existence here. And they said, it's okay, we know that you guys are just like little toddlers. You're just learning to walk. When you go through the bully stage, we all have to, like the terrible twos, when toddlers are throwing rocks at each other. We just waited to parent you back into your hearts. And each time one of you killed us, we just reincarnated and came back stronger with more love and light in our hearts for you, knowing that you would awaken and that we wanted to support you in awakening with love. And even when their bodies were being used during the harpooning, the whaling years, the water was used to create light, to light the lamps.
Right. Yes.
Interestingly, still, we're the light of the world.
Still. Thank you. Wow. Amazing. The longevity of them.
And they say, we have been given special dispensation from Source to come in and create a resonant shield of light using scalar waves and oscillating solar frequencies that have never been brought to the planet before because they literally are too dangerous, and move them around you to disable this virus so that you can live, in peace and harmony, and to create a light body energy around you that is completely neutral to anything that would be parasitic. That can only come from a galactic ancestor is what I'm hearing. So it's a pivotal time in history when this old civilization is dissolving, and they very much want to be a part of the recreation of the new Earth. And they're doing it. And so I really encourage you to try it. There isn't, and I'm not saying this just because I've been chosen to be their voice in this. I'm saying it because there isn't anything in comparison that I can say, oh, it's sort of like this or it's sort of like that. It's not like anything else. It's a unique experience. So.
Yes. And calling on new Earth leaders to get wildly creative, use the energy and the information from the whales to assist you to do that. We've got a lot of work and cleanup to do for New Earth, bridging to New Earth. It's already happening, and the whales and the dolphins are here helping us. That is so beautiful. Okay, so let's talk about the Mastery Empowerment course. We will include that recording that you just shared. That was so beautiful. And we'll include that in our course with the Coronavirus Whale Healing and Immunity Shield of Light.
Okay.
It's coming up on Friday, May 22nd. It will be recorded, so whoever cannot join us live, that recording works just as well. So, Laurie, it seems like on this level, like you said, the immunity is a reflection of ourself, and so it seems like many of us will be moving out layers of fear that somehow are still being triggered, whether it's seeing someone with a mask or whether you get angry at something over the news. It's going to be clearing out fear. And what else? It seems like it's going very deep.
Yeah. They say that they're able to pull us into the quantum state, which is 0 point, where our presence, that's the collective, ignites quantum possibilities that weren't there before, so that they can apply this energy to help humanity materialize their visions and intentions to have the shield of light without fear, but this all comes to this place, what we call neutrality, right?
Yes, no judgment, right.
Can be in the presence of anything that's horrific and still be in unconditional love because it's all part of the transformation. And so it will pass. It will. But the intention is it's no different than, let's say you found out a new war broke out on the planet in the morning. Well, you're not going to get in your car or in a plane and go to the war, but yet you want to be compassionate, but you want to be neutral to it. You don't want to affect you or bring you down because it's not, well, for all intents and purposes, it's not your war. You didn't create it. But yet we're standing and bearing witness to it. So we want compassion, right? We want neutrality, where we don't have a judgment, where we don't get really sad or really happy. We just hold that space for change to occur in the emotional bodies of the people that are in a dispute. But if we went into dispute or resistance, then we're lowering our vibration to go back into duality, where we're pretending that it's our problem when it's not.
Okay, so immunity against this, removal of judgment, removal of fear, working with the immunity shield of light coming from the whales, the great whales.
And it is a goal.
Laurie.
You know, and when we study light body over these many years with the whales, that's part of what my school is about. They've told us that the ascension would come in waves of color. And they've always said it will start with an opalescent energy, a pearlescent. You've probably heard that. And I know, I'm going to say 10 years ago, I was walking around and I would see this opalescent energy, pearlescent energy around me when I tilted my sunglasses a particular way when I was out in the sun. First it frightened. And then I started to realize, well, this is what they're talking about. I'm seeing my own auric field, right? And then they said it will start to turn to silver. That will be the next step. And ultimately it will turn to gold, and that's when the real ascension will occur. It will be liquid streaming light. You will turn back into gold beings. And so what they've done is accelerate this process for us. This lady contacted me after the healing just last week, and she went to the grocery store, and she said she touched the keypad, where you put your credit card in when you're at the market, and this spark came out of the machine that everyone that was in the thing saw. And she said it frightened her. It didn't hurt her, but it was a big spark. And she said the people around her said, "Why did the machine turn gold?"
Wow.
She said she didn't see specifically that because her face was in the spark, But when she touched the machine, later she said her guide said, well, the whales, the virus was on that keypad. So they sparked it and transmuted it with gold light. And everyone saw the gold light come out of the machine. Actually, it was coming out of her.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, that is really cool.
It's a 3D story.
Shifting the environment right there. With that, yeah, okay, all right. We are transmitters of this energy too.
Exactly, we become the holders of this cold light. In the old days, in like religious texts, they would say that the person that was ascending would take on the cloak, would take on the garment, and sometimes the garment of light was gold. Taking on the golden fleece. You've heard that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this is that time.
This is the time. So, stay inspired, everyone. Hold your vision of New Earth. Ask the whales to clarify that vision. Ask the whales and the dolphins what your role is for your next steps. Bring them into your bathtub. Bring them into your space right now. Oh my gosh, I feel them. And that is beautiful. I mean, there's so many. We always work with the dolphins, and it's beautiful. And now it's on. This shift is on. So thank you, everyone, for opening to receive this beautiful information and making this shift in New Earth. So, Laurie, you're going to ask, we've got time for a few questions. There's some coming in over our chat. If you're on the phone, you can hit *2 and you can raise your hand and ask Laurie a question. We're going to be taking questions in just a moment. I would like you, Laurie, to explain more. Here is Laurie. She's a beautiful teacher. She assists you in really connecting to your own inner wisdom, creating the unlockings of your clairvoyant, your clairaudience, all your clairs. She is your guide to assist you. And not only that, we have the Coronavirus Whale Healing Immunity Shield of Light event, but there's also other recordings that you can use. Laurie, tell us about these recordings and how people can work with them.
Well, regarding whale and dolphin energy, we have 2 CDs out, downloads, that are fairly current. And one is called The Messages from the Dolphins and Whales. I've been a channel for many years, so I've selected some of the nicer channels I think that are so informational, both from the dolphins and the whales, that are on that particular CD. There's 10 messages. And then there's the one, Guided Meditations from the Great Whales. And there's 4, I think, really nice, deep meditations that we've just found to be profound about creating light body, message from the mother whale, cosmic Lemurian journey back in time to when we understood who the whales were and we lived in harmony with them. So those are really beautiful for people who are really enjoying the whale and dolphin energy. And then we have a CD called Ascension Guidance, Living in Your Sacred Heart, which is actually a partner to our film, Ascension Guidance, Living in Your Sacred Heart. When you're showing a film, you know, we touch on all of the different meditations that the animals have given us. The film itself really is a product of Master Buddha asking to make a film. And then she, of course, wanted to bring in the messages of the dolphins and whales. So it's the first film or CD of its kind where the messages were literally created through my ability to be their voice. So that I can technically say Master Buddha wrote about 80% of the script and the whales and dolphins wrote the rest. And it starts out with simple tools about how to raise your vibration and hold the vibration outside of duality, moving towards ascension. And everything from, you know, meditation to learning the unity breath, which the dolphins kind of taught you today, to all the way at the end of learning out how to create light body and actually merge with the whale in a whale healing, and then ultimately dedicate your life to service to the planet, service to each other. So it's profound, and they work nicely together, both the movie and the CD. And then I have some that are webinars, and I have a CD download called Activating Your Merkaba, or Your Living Light Body. And I'm a student of Drunvalo, Melchizedek, earlier years in my life, and became a Flower of Life teacher during my spiritual awakening. And so I teach people how to activate their living Merkaba field, 17th breath meditation, and then how to move into understanding the Merkaba as an orb around you, you know, a travel device, I guess you'd say. So it's more for intermediate to higher consciousness. What else? Go ahead. Talk about. Let's see.
Activating dormant DNA and epigenetics.
Yeah, that's the dolphin. That's an actual whole class with the dolphins. Yeah, where we move into the frequency of the Ascended Council of Dolphins, and they give us a beautiful meditation. And we work actually with Strand 1, I think, in that particular class, and Strand 2, which is the biological body and any physical issues that you have, and then Strand 2 is the emotional body. So it's the myriad lessons of how to love. First, starting with self. I think we all know that if we don't have self-love, we don't really have anything, do we? We have nothing to share. And sharing is what makes love real. So the dolphins are the really master teachers on teaching us how to love ourselves and take really good care of ourselves so that we can become a pod player, you know. And then we have Align with Your Soul's Purpose, which is a 4-week class to really go into deeper wisdom, you know, to take time to go into the heart and not compare ourselves to other people, but find out with guidance who we really are, where we're from, and what we're here to do, because we have this divine life blueprint, you would say, that was fired in the etheric before you were ever born. And you did that. And I'm not saying it would take your free will away. I'm saying it would only enhance it if we would get in touch with it. So when you find these things, I'm just going to say, for example, the things that I've been doing just in the last weeks, I think are some of the higher plateaus I've reached in my professional career as well as in my service to the whales. But who knew, you know? I mean, there's no one else could have guided me to it. I had to do that on my own. I had to go into my own heart, make my own connection to the whales. And I'm just saying, whatever it is for you, the different things that you're here to do, I think right now is the most important time to have support. And that means talking to your guides. That means talking to your angels that are around you and really listening. I think we've come to a point in our evolutionary process where if we're not good listeners, we're always in the doing, and we're not in the being, in the listening stage, that we miss a lot about what our team would guide us to do. Think of President Trump, for example. He's got a whole bunch of people around him advising him what to do. Ultimately, he will make the decision because he's the president. He's got a huge team researching things all the time for him. You do too. You have a huge team around you, and nothing would make them happier, including the dolphins and whales, is to advise you on who you are, help you remember, and help you take action steps that will guide you towards many magical things that will bring you abundance and joy and healing and love. And remember, there's only one of you. I mean, you can say whatever you want about you, but you are uniquely important. You are a piece of the puzzle of this planet, and it would not be complete without you. So don't downplay your role. Just take time to really find out what that is and know that there are many people that have reached a certain frequency where there's nothing more important to us than to help you find yours. So the puzzle ultimately can be completed when we all put our piece in and it lights up. Does that make sense?
Yes, and it's so awesome. And that's what makes Laurie a really great guide for you to learn how to tap into your guides and to listen to your guides, talk to your guides, and receive that information. It's so beautiful. Thank you so much for that, Laurie. Beautiful. Your special offer is available on this webpage. We invite people to check it out. When you download or when you place your order, you will immediately get the download for that, and you can access all of it. And we'll see you in the workshop for the coronavirus healing and immunity shield of light. Very cool. Thank you for that. Again, that special offer link is on this webpage. Check it out and join us. We look forward to being in that space with you. So we have time for some questions. And one of the questions I have for you, as we wait for our listeners to raise their hand, when you go in the ocean, there's some really interesting areas of the ocean that people see with dolphins. Can you explain some of the strangeness or the mysterious things going on in the ocean with temples, crystal temples, and whatnot?
Well, let's talk about the dolphins in Kona, off the coast of the Big Island.
Yes.
There's a myriad of different bubble cities of light and portals and pathways to crystalline cities, remnants of Lemuria. Dolphins and whales, for all intents and purposes, could be the most powerful extraterrestrials you'll meet in this lifetime. They have physical form, but they are totally extraterrestrial. So are you. But, they really understand it and how to use it, So, let's see. I was with some dolphins fairly recently, and they sort of were there, and we were communing, and then there were other people on the boat, and then they weren't there. And then, some time went by, and I came back up to the same spot, and then they appeared, and there was a lot of light around them, maybe more light than there was before, a lot of rainbow light. And they said, we just went to Sirius B. And I said, why? And they said, well, you wouldn't understand, but basically we just took a little trip. And it only took us about 6 minutes to get there and about 6 minutes to get back. So we've been gone about 20 or 30 minutes. And we just wanted to come back and say hello and let you know where we went. Because you were wondering where we went, right? And I went, yeah. So, they do travel. They, in their bodies, they just sort of beam out. And some of you that have been in my classes or know about my mother, she does the same thing. She'll just be sitting there, and then she's gone, and she's comes back. But, she does just beam out of the room, And she'll come back and she'll say, oh, that's right, you don't know how to do that. We can't come to yet, The ability to morph your body and to experience multidimensionality is what we're really talking about, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We will learn how to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So Kona is one of the great places when you're snorkeling. You can just float, and look down into the water and you see all these beautiful rays of light and colors. And like John Luca Mazzali, he calls them the bubble cities, It's just, and at night, all the lights in the sky, beautiful place to see our brothers and sisters.
Yes. And so if you can't get there physically, open up a photo of it. Anybody who has ever flown into the Hawaiian Islands, it doesn't matter which one, there's just such love that we feel from the area, and it is Lemuria.
Hawaii is Lemuria, the remnants of Lemuria. This year I was in February on the Big Island, and it was my 10th year of doing a retreat, so we'll certainly be back next year. We always go when the whales are there, so we can see the whales. They're migrating from December to early April, so we're usually there in February or March or both. And when it's not in lockdown, we have lots of retreats. We were supposed to be going to Bimini in June. Now we're hoping to be going in August, but time will tell, to swim with those beautiful dolphins. And then in September, it'll be our second year of going to Moorea to swim with the whales.
Oh,
so
wow.
We're certainly hoping the planet will, open up to travel by then, but it's one of the places you can legally swim with the big humpbacks and something else.
Wow, something else. Well, beautiful. And thank you so much. We're going to take a question now. I am going to open up our phone line to caller area code 540 in Virginia. Hi, caller. You're unmuted. Tell us your name, please.
Oh, it's Olivia.
Hi, Olivia.
Olivia Sterling. You had me on your show one time. So funny. I've been doing some inner child work and some light body activation, and the dolphins are all around me in these sessions the past 2 weeks, and a dolphin came to me years ago, and so I know the dolphin is my main totem. So there's no accident that I found you today.
No accident.
So I'm just going to go meditate and get in there and start talking to my dolphin, but I wanted to get the prices of your classes or courses and then put that on my bucket list to come and be with you on the dolphins or whales.
As far as our retreats go, you just visit our website and you can see.
Okay, so what's the name of it, please?
My website is Laurie Reyon, LaurieReyon.com. And, everything I do will be there for you. And, of course, everything is priced according to what's being offered. They're not all the same price. Yeah.
Okay. So, I'll go in there and check.
Be sure to take a look at the package that Lauren's offering because it's greatly discounted from our regular price.
I think I will. I'll look at it, Lauren. This is the first time I've ever called in.
Yay. Well, thank you for calling in. That's great.
It's a beautiful show. Yes. Yes, I love your work. And it's just so interesting to listen to you talk about the dolphins and the whales.
Well, I'm so glad you enjoyed it.
Can you see dolphins around me?
In order for me to see dolphins around you, I would need to have your permission, of course, and then I usually ask for your legal name, and I'll meditate for, maybe say 10 minutes to see your guides and angels and dolphins around you. However, your Master Cat Buddha can do it much more quickly. But I'm telling you, just from knowing right now, though, that we all have dolphins and whales around us from doing the work we've been doing an hour or so. Yeah, but my inner sight for each person can be activated in a few minutes. And I usually do that in one-on-one consultations.
Okay, so I'll go in and look and see what you have.
Yeah.
Okay. Are those sessions time sensitive? Do I have to have them done in a certain amount of time?
Well, my one-on-one sessions are usually an hour to an hour and a half, depending on what the client wants. Okay. And I do it year-round, and that's what I do. I do life path, soul sessions, and I do Akashic Records sessions, animal communication, and whale and dolphin healing.
Okay, all right. Well, I know animal communications is one of my paths. So I thank you very much. I'll let somebody else have the call next, okay?
Thanks, Olivia. And thank you for being on your path with the animals and communicating with them. That's awesome.
Thanks a lot. Okay, you're welcome. Bye.
We need more animal communication.
Yes, we absolutely do. And what was that movie, Down and Out in Beverly Hills, where animal communicators used to be joked at? There's no more jokes. It's real.
I even have veterinarians working with me now, so that's nice. Yeah,
see, I think that's awesome. That is an indicator of New Earth. And I just love, Laurie, I just want to say, you as a girl tapping into your horse and following your passion with dance and music and animals, it's so beautiful. Your whole life you've just been wired into it, and like you said, who knew, who would have thought when you were a kid that you would be an adult doing this? It is amazing. It's beautiful. Okay, let's see. Thank you. All right, that's it for our questions at the moment. And I hope our audio's okay. Can you hear me clearly? Okay, good. Well, Laurie, this is the completion of our call today. I want to thank you for our time. And as we go, there is a question. Maybe you want to share, is there any message for our audience outside of what we've talked about, or is there a message for anyone in particular as we wrap up our show?
Well, when we started, I have this paragraph that's sort of a signature message, and it comes from the white whales, but it would be for everyone. And I think it's a nice closing message if that's okay.
Yes, that's perfect.
Okay, so everyone just go into your heart space. This is a message from the Great White Whale Council. Beloved humans, we are your elders, and we are the molecular librarians of Earth's history. We embody conscious creation, and we have the experience and the intention to assist you with core-level healing. It is our intention to assist humanity in claiming their mastery and restoring your physical forms to radiant health. As you awaken your dormant DNA, you will naturally evolve into awakened geniuses. You will then live and create from your hearts in communities across the globe where you will change the outdated and broken structures of medicine, of education, of government, and sustainable living. Connect with us now and we will accelerate your intention to evolve. We are solution energy. We are the great white whales. We represent the cetacean nations of Earth, and we are the cosmic creators. I am Bendakata. So, not a beautiful message from one of the great white whales.
Yes, a beautiful, inspiring message, empowering, asking us to take our awakened genius and live from the heart. This is the new Earth, and we are being assisted by the great whales and dolphins. Thank you so much, Laurie Reyon. This has been a beautiful quantum conversation. We are connected with the whales. We are connected with the dolphins, and we are feeling good. Thank you.
Thank you, Lauren. We've really enjoyed it.
And we invite everyone to join us in our upcoming Mastery Empowerment class. That is a special course for the Coronavirus Whale Healing and Immunity Shield of Light. And there's also some options to purchase Laurie's packages. These are tons of audios. There's like 20 different audios in all of these packages. And then, of course, the 4-week course for you to really go deep and work on your inner connection with your higher self and developing your clairs. Thank you so much, Laurie Reyon. I appreciate your time, and I thank you for this quantum conversation. Thank you. Laurie Reyon's special offer is available right here on this webpage. Click on the link that you're watching, and let's dance our way to the cosmic heart with a little fun and a little movement. See if you can feel the dolphins in our little jam band right here. Thank you. Thank you for listening to this quantum conversation, and thank you for dancing with us to the cosmic heart. As we raise our own vibration, we raise the vibration of the planet. This show is dedicated to you and all awakening hearts, as we are here to shine our bright light and amplify our love. Access all quantum conversations, special offers from our guests, and online healing retreats by visiting acoustichealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and from my sacred heart to yours, I honor your magnificent love and light. We leave you now with music from the universe. Music literally created by the universe, as musical notes were assigned to mathematical equations. The result is this beautiful music, available at acoustichealth.com. Namaste.